Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to talk about silver today, and I think it's very, very important because even if silver was to come down in price, right, which I still expect during a market crash, when stocks start to crash, when everybody starts running for the exits because they think that or they know that something bad is finally on the horizon, or it's been on the horizon and they finally figured it out, it doesn't really matter because the last time silver, or every time actually, silver seems to take a big downturn, the price over spot explodes, the physical price of silver. And really, when it really comes down to it, that ultimately will be what people care about. Now, before I start this story out of Zero Hedge, I think it's really important. I'm going to say that if you were looking for a broker, I'm going to put a link to a website that I trust that will deliver you physical silver. You can go look at the products. It's a company that I trust. Like I said, they've been great. If you want a personal broker, I will give out the phone number of my personal broker. She can take on some more clients, she said, but she really only deals with purchases of $1,500 or more. And that is a personal full service brokerage when it comes to physically delivering metals or doing your IRA, things like that, okay? Or even just buying large quantities of metal like I do and putting it in vaults, okay? So I'll put that down below. Now, this story is out of Zero Hedge. It's entitled, Silver is Significantly Underpriced Given the Looming Supply Shortage. It says here, given this current macroeconomic environment and the supply and dynamics, silver is significantly undervalued at $24 to $25 an ounce. Now, let me stop there and say that prior to all of this craziness happening, right? Let's say 2018, 2017, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what silver was at, but I want to say it was around $17 or $18, okay? So since COVID, it has moved up on a percentage basis quite significantly. Now, with that being said, it's in a really strong position as the Fed may pause, right? If they pause, and they eventually, because things start to get bad, they start to lower, that will be bullish indicator for silver and gold. Because as the Fed lowers rates, they make liquidity for currency, money that much easier. It tends to bolster the price of gold and silver. So that's why I'm actually pretty shocked that silver's sitting here right now at the $24 handle. I would have thought it would have been a little bit weaker right now, but it's actually doing very, very well. Now, in the meantime, I will say that physical sales have not fallen off a cliff, but dropped significantly as compared to where they were when there was a lot of fear in the market back in 2020, 2021, and even 2022. So that market has mellowed out and we've seen premiums come down. So that's cool. I'm a big proponent of, if I believe in something, I just don't stop buying it. I buy it on weakness. I don't buy it on strength. I don't FOMO into things, right? When I'm buying off of fundamentals, I want to buy when the prices are great. I don't freak out. That's when people lose money, okay? So I'm big on dollar cost averaging. All right, that's what I do. The bullish case, it says, for silver in the mainstream typically revolves around price inflation. There are certainly reasons to think inflation is stickier than the powers that want to admit, and that the Federal Reserve isn't going to be able to win the inflation fight. That is bullish for both silver and gold. So what's interesting is, like I said before, when the Fed starts to drop rates, silver and gold tend to do well over the long term. Just exactly like what happened as the Fed started lowering rates in 2007, but really in earnest in 2008 when they really opened up liquidity for banks and financial institutions. That sent gold and silver on a multi-year move up. On the flip side, during high inflation times, yes, gold and silver do well, but if you think about it, is it doing really well in comparison to other assets? Well, if you look back at the Weimar Republic, gold did exceptionally well. As a matter of fact, there's a famous story of a lady that was a waitress in a restaurant, and she was given a 1 ounce gold coin at one point for a tip. It was the best tip she'd ever gotten. Imagine like today's value is like getting $100 or $200, maybe $300 tip. She held on to that gold coin, and unbeknownst to her, someday it would be worth so much money because when the Weimar hyperinflation came up, she was able to buy the restaurant with that gold coin. Now, I don't know if that's substantiated, but we've always heard that story, and we do know that the value of gold through times like the Weimar Republic, the Venezuela hyperinflation, and other hyperinflations, indeed, it did in some of those countries take only like 1 ounce of gold to go buy a house. So we do know that there have been times that has happened. But then you still have to look at it and you're like, okay, what's the value is compared to other times, like 2008, when gold went from $600 to $1,900 and change, right? It went up literally over 3 times, where my home in California dropped by 45%. So if you think of it just in those terms, during that time of uncertainty over a span of 3 to 4, possibly 5 years, I was able to, or actually I didn't at that time, I'm planning on doing this now, I would have been able to, if I'd have bought gold right before that, I would have been able to I would have had 4 times more leverage to the real estate market. Actually, I think it's more. I don't have the math on the top of my head, but it's pretty impressive. With real estate dropping 45%, gold going up over 3%, it is, or 3x, it is a big deal. All right, it brings a lot of leverage. So that's what a lot of people are investing in gold for. Now it says, now I don't hear a lot about people in the mainstream talking about the looming supply shortage in the silver market. In fact, the growing demand for silver in the solar power industry will likely put a significant squeeze on supply in the coming years. And the current price of silver doesn't reflect the likely shortages. Now, people have been talking about the supply chain shortage in silver for a long time, and they've been directly relating it to solar and how solar is exploding. And I get it. There's people all the time say, you know what, Ninja, there's new technology coming out, and they're going to put solar panels, use different materials other than silver. All right, cool. Here's the truth. They don't have that done yet. So you could have a pie in the sky. I could tell you that I'm going to build a car out of water, and yeah, I might be able to pull it off, but is it going to happen? Think about that. There's a lot of stuff going on right now behind the scenes that people in high places don't want those new technologies. They want to burn out the current technology. So for the time being, silver is being squeezed. And not only that, there is more patents tied to silver for uses in all kinds of different applications than any other metal on Earth. It is absolutely a miracle metal. That's what blows me away. It literally is the metal that all other metals are compared to when talking about the conductivity of electricity, how cleanly and easily it can flow through metal. Silver is the pinnacle. It is the standard, all right? So that's what I look for, and not only that, every day they're coming up with different ways to use silver. While the mainstream hasn't talked much about this, in the industry, people in the industry are aware of what's going on. In an article published by Seeking Alpha, Silver Bullion Pte. Limited, CEO Gregory Grengeson mentioned that he is intrigued by unofficial chatter about upcoming silver scarcities due to rapidly growing photovoltaic demands during the Asia-Pacific Precious Metals Conference. We're already seeing a squeeze on the supply of silver, while silver demand sets records in every category in 2022. Supply was flat, with mine output falling by 0.6%. This resulted in a 237 million ounce market deficit in 2022. Now, we've been in a true deficit since Halloween of 2016, I want to say, if my memory serves me right. That is when the World Gold Mining Council said that there was more ounces being used of silver per year on a per year basis than ounces of silver that were being mined annually. And so we have been slowly losing that battle. And actually, it's a great battle to be in if you're actually buying silver. Because after 2006, a USGS report was leaked. I actually got a hold of that in 2009. And it actually showed that sometime in the 2020s, the U.S. Geological Survey said that they believed that silver was going to go completely extinct. All above ground and mineable silver was going to be pretty much taken by then. Now, do I think that they were going to hit the date in the 2020s? No, I don't think so. I think they could be off. That's a long way to project out. But you see my point. And since then, since that date of 2006, silver has went up in price. And so it's proving that there is more demand for silver today than there was in 2006. All right, that's just the facts. That's the most basic, fundamental fact of supply chain dynamics, or supply and demand dynamics in economics. So I buy silver. I buy it slowly. I'm going to put a link to the Silver Symposium. I'm going to be speaking at it in Las Vegas. We have some tickets left, but I will tell you this. I think that being around people in the industry and then being around other people like yourself that are interested in the future and making money and building wealth is going to be way more valuable than the circle that you're around right now, quite frankly. Everywhere I go around the country, people get so excited because they're meeting other people just like them. And that's the most important part, because if anything, it's going to give you hope. Guys, I'm going to put the links down to the Silver Symposium. I'm going to put the links to my personal broker or their phone number. And then I'll give you also the website that you could go buy, just 1 or 2 coins if you want on the website. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.